What's up, what's up, what's up? It's your man Chaz Ellis once again giving you the information that you asked me for and sometimes giving you the information you didn't ask me for but I felt you needed to know. Make sure you hit me up on the askchazzellisproject.com if you want to be a part of picking the next video. Also, if you want to be a part of some of the discussions we're having. All kind of different things going on, like have you ever been in a rebound relationship? Do you believe in love at first sight? How important is money in a relationship? Different stuff going on, make sure you be a part of some of those discussions. They get heated sometimes and they're pretty cool. So make sure you get to be a part of some of those discussions. Also, if you want to get a consultation or you want to get access to the email address, make sure you hit me up on the askchazzellisproject.com. Anyway, I did a video and it was called Why Guys Hate the 90-Day Rule. And I got a whole lot of responses. But some of the responses that really stuck out to me were people that made what I felt were, pretty good points if you didn't really understand the whole situation. Some people was like, well, a good man will wait, and a good man will do this, and a good man will do that. And it really, I thought it was cool because it really brought home a point that, to me, that about a lot of women's psychology and what they're going through in terms of how they deal with men. And the truth is, most women just really don't understand men at all. And, just don't really know where men are coming from. Here's what I mean. I'm going to get right to it. When you deal with a man, what most women don't realize is that men aren't really that different from you. And I mean that in this way. When you take what you would call a good man, okay, that guy has gone through a lot of crap, just like you have. What a lot of women don't realize is good men take it on the chin for everybody. They're the people who usually get friend zoned. They're the people who usually get used. They're the person that's going to help a girl move all her stuff upstairs and 10 flights of stairs, and then she goes, and go on 100 dates with that girl and listen to her talk on the phone about all her problems for 200, 300 hours, only to find out that she only likes him as a friend. I like you as a friend. Sorry. I see you as a brother. And a lot of women do this because they want to suck everything they can out of a guy, without giving up something that they find valuable. Now, this may be something you don't even know. But when you come into a situation, you have to think about this. Why did I make this 90-day rule? Why did I come up with this rule? Or why did I come up with any of the rules and regulations that I date by? Why do I need a man to do this? Why do I need a man to do that? Well, then you have to sit here and think for a second, why would this person not want to follow this rule? What have they been through in their life? And this is why good people have the toughest time getting together. Because most of your good men, good women, have no understanding of the psychology of the opposite sex. Very little. They really just don't get it, and that's where they have the trouble. Most of y'all have your guard up so high, it's like, and y'all walk, and that's how y'all greet each other. Because if you take a guy who really wants to fall in love, really wants to be with somebody, he takes a lot of hits, he takes a lot of shots, because he ends up in the friend zone a lot of times, because he puts his heart out there. And when you do that so many times, you start trying to shield yourself and make sure someone's going to give you their heart back. But see, a woman will see that, and they'll see that as, oh, you're throwing up my red flags, just like a guy who has used me for sex in the past. That's why I made this rule. But you got to understand where other people are coming from. And if you don't understand where a guy is coming from, then nothing you do is going to work. Because what you have to understand is men who are not players don't really understand what you're trying to do because they didn't do those things. They don't do that. They're like, I don't use women for sex. So when you make these rules, I feel like they're only for me. I feel like they're only for me. I feel like you let the guys you really like smash, and then me, you keep me on the back burner until you tell me that you only see me as a friend, or you only see me as a brother, or I'm too nice. This is what guys go through, and this is what creates that type of personality. For instance, when a guy calls you over his house and says, hey, you want to come chill and watch a movie? Some dudes really do want to watch a movie. I'm going to be real. When I've called a girl over to my house to watch a movie, I was wanting to have sex. So now what happens is, because I did that, it's a lot of other dudes out there who, when they call a girl over the house and be like, hey, you want to watch a movie? They don't believe them. They don't believe them because a lot of us, you know, we were really trying to hit it. But there are dudes out there who are not. That's the thing. And because of that, what has happened is the rules and regulations have been created to try to protect you from players, but you don't understand the psychology behind the rules, and you don't understand the psychology of men. So when you sit here and say, oh, I'm going to do this 90-day rule, and if he's a real man or if he's a good man, he'll follow it and he won't have a problem with it. And you're not thinking about what red flags that sends up for him. Just like when a dude says, hey, we're just going to play it loose and see how it goes. All right? Well, clearly you're going to say, man, you're just trying to use me as a friend with benefits. Some dudes actually mean that, and they really want to figure out, see where it goes, because they're trying to make sure you don't dog them. Now, when I would do that, that meant I wanted to use you as a friend with benefits. That's not everybody. What you have to understand is that's not everybody. Everybody's not doing that. Some people are genuinely trying to get to know you and want to be with you, and they don't really know how to go about it because they don't know what throws up your red flags. Because that's not what they do. They don't try to play girls. They never have. They don't know. They've never figured the system out. They never understood the psychology of women. So when you do things, it just throws up red flags for them and they head for the hills. This is why you need to have empathy for other people. I'm not telling you to have empathy for men because it's cool for them. I'm telling you this for your own situation. So you understand the psychology behind the things that you do and you make them work for you. The truth is, the 90-day rule doesn't work on players. Players don't care about the 90-day rule. And I'm going to tell you why. I just told you how your good man, with quote unquote, I don't like to say good man, bad man, because people, when you think in those absolutes, it sets you up for failure. And I'm going to tell you why. But when you deal with a player understands the psychology of women. A player gets where a woman is coming from. They get why you made that rule. See, when you make 90-day rule and all that kind of stuff, and a guy is a real good dude and he runs into that, he's like, oh man, it's another girl trying to friend zone me, another girl trying to play me, another girl trying to get all this goodness that I give and not give anything back. She doesn't want to be with me. She wants to be with player Joe over here. Because that's what he's been through. Well, you have to understand, if you're a player, you lived a different reality. You are player Joe. You are the dude that smashes all the time. So when a girl sits there and says 90-day rule, you already understand that she's trying to protect herself against niggas like you. You get that right off top. You're like, oh man, she been through some stuff. She trying to protect herself from dudes like myself who, you know, smash early or whatever. So I get it. And when you're a player, here's the difference between a good guy and a player. A player understands the psychology of women. A good guy doesn't necessarily understand that. So a good guy will generally see that opportunity. When I'm using these terms, good guy and bad, it's not really good or bad. It's just who you are and what you are. But what you would consider a good guy, they see that and they see it as an obstacle and they kind of back off because they got their guard up from all the times they've been hurt. But when you're dealing with a player, they see that obstacle as an opportunity because they understand why that obstacle is there and they know that it can work in their favor. They know that you're doing that because dudes like them have played you in the past. And this is your way of trying to stop yourself from dealing with that. They know that you've been through a lot of things and it doesn't bother them because they're sitting there saying, okay, 90 days, cool. Well, let's see, I got girls on deck. And even if I don't smash those girls, they're going to keep my confidence up throughout this whole situation because they're going to be calling me like, what's up? You going to come hang out? Girl, I'm chilling right now. So they got that confidence that's going to keep pouring in from all the people that they've dealt with in the past. They understand why you're doing this because they're the cause of it. It doesn't bother you so bad when a rule is made for people like you. Like, you don't get pissed off when somebody frisks you at the club if you the type of dude that carries a gun into the club. It doesn't bother you. You're like, okay, you lucky you frisked me because I swear to God, I was going to have both of them heaters in the club. You don't care. But if you're a type of law-abiding citizen and you ain't never brought a gun to a club in your life, you don't want that person touching you. You're like, that's disrespectful. So it just all depends on where you're coming from. But when you're dealing with a guy that's a player, he's not going to trip off of no 90-day rule because that's a good opportunity for him to set the hook in your mouth. Let me let you understand where players are coming from. And I'm not talking about some of your amateur players who want to hit it one time and whatever. I'm talking about a real player and where they're coming from. And I want you to understand this because some of y'all might be going through this right now. And I'm going to let you in a little bit on the psychology of men so you can understand why you're going through what you're going through. See, a real player understands women, and they understand them very well. And not only does a player understand women, a player is good to women. People always got it in this bad man thing. So when they deal with somebody, if he's a really good person, they think, oh, well, he couldn't be a player. He couldn't be playing me. Well, you'd be wrong. Because what a player understands is this. It's about the long haul. It's about having women on deck for the next 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. I ain't say 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months. I said years. And some of y'all been getting played by the same dude for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years. You know, keep it real. Y'all can put the comments at the bottom. Let them know what's up. And what happens is they know that 90-day period where some dudes would go, oh, well, I give up. For them, it's a good opportunity to set that hook in your mouth. And what I mean by set the hook in your mouth, when you go fishing, you want to make sure that the fishing hook gets all the way in the fish's mouth before you pull up. That way the fish don't get away. You know, and then you start reeling them in. Well, that's what a player wants to do. And a 90-day period really helps them because in that 90 days, they're not going to do what your quote-unquote good man would do. What they're going to do is, because what they would do, they might try to do everything for you and try to make you, I want to make sure you're happy. I want to get this out of you, blah, 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 blah. You know, they're going to do all that stuff that they don't even want to do sometimes. They're going to invest. What a player is going to do is this, because players understand the psychology of women. It's not about what I do for you. It's about what I show you I am. And in that time period, I'm going to show you that I'm nice. I'm going to show you that I'm extremely intelligent. I'm going to show you that I'm goal-oriented and that I'm going somewhere in life. I'm going to show you that I have a lot of successes already. I'm going to show you that I'm good to your family and people will like me. I'm going to show you that I'm the type of person that you'll be proud to be around. Because when I do that, when you see everything good about me, then guess what? You're not going to want to leave. You're not going to be able to leave. And yes, a player going to be nice to you, cool with you the whole way, every step of the way. You know, hey, you want to go somewhere, you want to do something? No problem. Because what that does is it creates this vision of what you could have and what could happen. And you're going to be into a point where you're going to be wanting to have sex with that person even before the 90 days is up. It ain't going to be no begging, getting mad at you, stuff like that. It's going to be putting it in a situation where you see something that you have to lose. Now, when a player does that, you're basically hooked. And after they hit it, they might take 3 months, 4 months. It might take any amount of time. But then they might back off and they might go chill and do something with somebody else. But you're still hooked. Now you're somebody they can always come back to. This is how a player does it. This is how a player thinks. And it's because they understand your psychology. They know this about you. When you get out there in the world again after they stop talking to you for a while, all you're going to do is go out there with somebody with all your rules, all your regulations, and because of what you went through with them, your walls are going to be even higher. And those walls are going to be walls that only they can scale. Because they already inside the building, really. You know what I mean? So just because you ain't talking to them right now, they still there. You know, and now you're keeping other people out. You're not going to be able to meet new guys as easily because they already know that guys who are not like them aren't going to be able to make it past all of your rules and regulations. And you're going to keep coming back. And the reason why you keep coming back is, you know what they say about crackheads is when you smoke crack for the first time, they say that the hit is so good that you chase that high for the rest of your life. That's crazy, right? Well, that's not that crazy because it's just like you do with a player. A player makes the beginning so good, so incredibly amazing and wonderful. And you see all the great things that they got going for them. You want to be a part of that so bad that you chase that for the rest of your life. Even when you with another dude, you chase that. Even when you with another dude, you think of this player as being the ultimate guy that you really could have and wanted to be with. And you chase that for the rest of your life. in a lot of cases. And that's how a player rolls. So they know nice guys. See, a player uses the system to their advantage. They already know that your nice guy is going to get hit and caught by a lot of things. Like all these little traps you got set to protect yourself from players. Like I always say, you know, a friend told me one time, you know, locks don't keep out thieves. Locks are for amateurs. When you're dealing with a player, all them little traps and stuff you got set that are supposed to keep out the players, all they really do is they're a minefield for the good dudes. They don't really work on players. And that's what you run into. So players just keep going, players just keep coming to you. And when you get a player to get in there and set the hook in your mouth, almost impossible to deal with. Because you don't understand the principles behind what you're doing or the psychology of a man. See, a man has one kryptonite across the board. This is for every single dude. Every single one of us. Giving you this information. And this is what I tell you a lot of times in these different videos to try to help you understand. When I talk about this stuff remember what I said, be aware of a guy who's not afraid of you, people who are not afraid of you. Because that means they usually mean you harm. I'm always afraid of people who are not afraid of me. Somebody who will sit here and give me a ride or something like that and they don't even know me, that makes me scared because I'm like, you don't even know me. What do you plan on doing to me that makes you not afraid of me? Well, when a person means you harm, or I don't want to say means you harm because a lot of players don't mean you harm. They just want to get what they want out of a situation. But when a person means to get over on you, here's what it happens. They're not afraid of you. So they don't have their guard up. So when you say 90-day rule or you got to take me out on a date that costs this much money or blah, 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 blah. Any of those little rules and stuff. The way that the player is looking at it is like, I get that. That makes sense to me because I know what I'm going to do and this is a means to get there. So I don't mind taking you out on this date. I don't mind waiting this amount of time because I know that this is going to be something that I'm going to have on my hook for the next 10, 15 years. You're going to be on my rotation, you know, of women that I'm dealing with. And I'm not that invested. But when you're a person that you don't want to do anybody, you don't want to get over on anybody, then you're going to have your guard up and you're going to see everything as, oh, is this person trying to get over on me? Oh, is this person trying to put me in the friend zone? Just trying to play me for some money? Man, I remember getting done like this. I ain't letting that happen again. So that's what you run into often. All right? So that's what you have to think about. Now, like I was saying, every man has one kryptonite though, and that's what I talk about in my videos. If you notice, I always talk about connecting emotionally with a guy. That's what I always talk about. Because that's the only thing that works. See, the reason why the 90-day rule, there ain't really nothing wrong with the 90-day rule. It's just that people don't understand the principle behind it. They don't understand like the reason for the 90-day rule was to give a guy an opportunity to have a connection with you before y'all slept together so that he would care. So that, you know, he wouldn't just skedaddle. But what a lot of women have turned that into in their minds is an audition period for a guy. That doesn't work. It don't matter what I am to you. It matters what you are to me. How I treat you is going to be based on what you are to me, not what I am to you. Okay, I gave you stuff. I treated you good. I showed you how nice of a person I was. I showed you how dynamic I was, how successful I was, all of those things. That means you like me. So when I smash, that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm connected to you or that I care that I invested this time. You care that I invested this time. You care that I did that. And when and what people don't understand is players don't have to pretend to be something that they're not. They can be themselves, and themselves is usually good. That's what you don't get. It ain't like, oh, well, he can't keep this act up for 90 days. See, that's where you run into your amateurs. Because what they're doing is they're trying to do everything for you. A player already understands the concept. I don't got to do nothing for you. I can do some nice stuff for you that I feel like doing. But all I got to do is show you what I am, and that's gonna get it. So what happens is the player builds equity with you, and you're not building any with them because they're like, you got them kind of auditioning while you chilling back. That's why I talk about that. The biggest thing you want to do, and this is why 90 days and all that crap don't really matter, because if you haven't made that connection in a year, you get the same results in a year. If you haven't made that connection in 6 months, you get the same results in 6 months. If you made that connection on a one-night stand, you can get married a year later. That's how it works. Sorry. There's no blanket time frame. It's about making the emotional connection and building value for you. Because if that person values you, that changes the way they treat you. If that person, and I don't care who it is, it can be the biggest player in the world. If he's emotionally connected, emotionally involved, then he has no choice but to value you, and that makes it difficult for him to try any kind of player stuff because he can't take you or leave you. That's why I talk about that all the time. Holding the cookie hostage. All of that different stuff I talk about, that's what I mean. Don't think that just because somebody's a good man or whatever, they haven't been through things that's going to make them not want to put up with 90-day rules and all that kind of stuff. And don't think that just because somebody's a jerk, they're not going to sit up there and wait 90 days. Because they will. They'll wait 90 days. They'll wait 180 days. They don't care. Why would they care when they already know that all that is a strategy from you, and what they can do is they can use that to their advantage. So be careful of those things and build equity. Build an emotional connection with somebody. Focus on that and not time frames. And it's not even all about the sex part. This is what you do because your heart is the thing you want to protect more than anything. If you don't want to have sex with somebody, I get that. But your heart is the thing you want to protect more than anything. And you want to connect your heart to another person so theirs is vulnerable just like yours. If that didn't happen, it doesn't matter how long you waited. It doesn't matter how short of a time you waited. You're going to get the same results over and over again. And because some of you guys don't understand the psychology of men, you keep getting those same results. Hopefully I was able to help you out. Once again, it's your man, Chaz Ellis. Make sure you hit me up on the askchazzellisproject.com. Also, be ready to sign up for this class on Sunday, October the 26th. It's going to be live stream. Sunday, October the 26th at 5 o'clock. You'll see an annotation somewhere for it. Once again, it's your man, Chaz Ellis. Make sure you like and subscribe and share this video with somebody else. Peace.